Welcome back. We're getting now visuals coming in of the Prime Minister visiting Lal Advani on his birthday. As we were discussing just a little while ago, there's the Prime Minister at Lal Advani's residence, and he was the first one to actually wish him in the morning in form of that long tweet that he had put out where he said, "Birthday greetings to respected Advani ji, praying for his long and healthy life. The nation remains indebted to him for his numerous efforts towards empowering people and enhancing our cultural pride. He's also widely respected for his scholarly pursuits and rich intellect." Maria Shakil is now back with us. Maria, more visuals now coming in, and you can see all the top leaders, Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, with the Prime Minister there wishing Lal Advani. Talk to us about the association of the Prime Minister and Lal Advani.
Yes, so it's interesting how the BJP top leadership is present on Lal Advani's birthday. The entire leadership of the party, the fact that they have had a long association with him, it's also an appreciation of what Mr. Advani has done for the party. Remember, 1984 was the time that the BJP just had 2 MPs in the Lok Sabha. And then it went on to see within 15 years' time of Lal Advani and, of course, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee forming the government. I can see other leaders of the party as well, from the vice president, president too in this meeting. And Mr. Advani's family is there to greet him as well. And that is Deepak Chopra behind Mr. Advani, one of the closest aides of Lal Advani. And, these are visuals, these are very heartwarming visuals. The fact that the Prime Minister is holding his hands and bringing him to the lawn. This is 30. This is in Lutyens, Delhi. This is where Mr. Lal Advani still lives. And so there is a breakfast perhaps that has been organized where we can see Vice President who has worked with Lal Advani present in this meeting. There is also Rajnath Singh, Defence Minister, Home Minister Amit Shah, all of them present in this meeting. So I'm just saying, when you highlight these images, you realize, Ridhima, the long association and the contribution that has that Mr. Advani has had in the party. He was active in politics till 2019, only in 2019 that he did not contest. And then thereafter, the Gandhinagar seat was taken over by Home Minister Amit Shah, who contested his first Lok Sabha post from Gandhinagar. But having said that, these are visuals which show that the BJP continues to appreciate and value the contribution that has been made by Lal Advani for the party. Remember, in 1980s, when he embarked on that Rath Yatra, that was the reason what led to complete the building of that Hindutva narrative and the Ram Janam Bhoomi movement. And then we saw how events played out in 1992 as well. So Lal Advani and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have had a long association. And every now and then the Prime Minister often talks about Mr. Advani with great fondness. The fact that all of them are there for a breakfast meet and greet, and of course birthday wishes speaks volumes of it. But as we have been saying, these are the people that Mr. Advani is very close to. His daughter is present in that meeting. The son is present in that meeting. That breakfast that has been organized at Mr. Advani's residence in the national capital. So, when we look at these visuals, as we have been talking about, he's 94 today, but the party continues to laud his efforts. The party and the government, the top leaders of the government being present speaks volumes of it.
Maria, as we were discussing earlier, he has been away from public life because of age and ailing health. But even in that executive meet, we saw him join, of course, virtually. Talk to us about, one of his last big contributions, or when was the last time we actually saw him?
So the last time that we saw him active was, Mr. Advani would be present in Parliament whenever the Parliament session would be there, Ridhima, every day at 9:30 a.m. So he had a chamber because he was the head of the NDA then. And he had a chamber and he would go and be present in the Lok Sabha relentlessly, and his attendance meant that he inspired the young MPs perhaps to ensure that they are also present in the Parliament to listen to the debates and discussions. So Mr. Advani ensured that kind of discipline within his own party. And when Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley were the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha respectively, Mr. Advani used to ensure that there would be a NDA meeting every day at 9:30 a.m. where all the leaders would come, they would discuss the opposition strategy, and thereafter the communication and the strategy would unfold on the floor of the House. But we have seen that kind of discipline. Every day I remember very clearly, Ridhima, Mr. Advani would not miss a single day of Parliament. He would be present every day whenever the Parliament was in session.
Maria, I also want to, because you've covered this beat for a long time, talk to us about the working style of LK Advani and the long association that we've seen with the Prime Minister. Similar in their working style or completely different?
They are different, because LK Advani, Prime Minister Modi has had a long work, and also he has worked as the Chief Minister of a state. So he comes with a governance model. He's, of course, has strong ideological leanings, but then he comes with a governance model as well, which he has given to the country from Gujarat to India now. He has had a long, governance period of 20 plus years. Mr. Advani and Prime Minister Modi have had long equation. We have often seen Prime Minister touch his feet, but at the same time, if you look at those visuals, Prime Minister meeting LK Advani and then holding his hands and bringing him to the lawn is certainly an image of warmth, and at the same time keeping in with the tradition that is there in traditional Indian families. And these are the images which will be interpreted by BJP leaders and workers, particularly because they realized that in 1980, what Mr. Advani and Vajpayee did, because when they founded the BJP, it was from there that the entire journey of the BJP begins. And look what they achieved in 2014 when the BJP formed its full majority government. We did see a BJP government also in 2004, but that was of Vajpayee with a lot of other alliance partners. But then this was the full majority government of the BJP with a kind of a mandate that Prime Minister Modi got, and then again saw it play out in 2019. So, but the presence of the top leaders of the party, again, Rajnath Singh has had an old association with LK Advani. His tweet was also pretty warm when he greeted LK Advani this morning, and Home Minister Amit Shah as well.
Maria, I also want to talk about how does the BJP now see LK Advani as a margdarshak, as a mentor? Is that how the party now sees LK Advani?
Yes, so he is part of the Margdarshak Mandal, as it is formally known as, which also includes Murli Manohar Joshi, one of the veterans of the party, who is also part of it. And there's a very interesting instance in political scientist Vinay Sitapitri's latest book, Jugal Bandi, the BJP before Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in that he talks about Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, former Deputy Prime Minister, who we are seeing on our television screens, LK Advani, and the Jugal Bandi that was there between Vajpayee and LK Advani, despite their personalities being very, very different, and how they worked their way up in the highest corridors of power, and how they ensured that this entire dominance of political nationalism in Indian politics, it happened. So how they made it so unique, and that is what is often said, that Modi Shah, is it similar to Atal Advani? So these are certain, jodis or jugalbandis, they are often called, which is there in Indian politics for political scientists and historians to watch and read. But it talks about how these partnerships, Ridhima, shape the political circumstances of time, and how these partnerships become very core in defining politics and the policy also of these times. So the push that was given to 370, the ideological push that has been given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah is very different from what was there during Atal Bihari Vajpayee and LK Advani, because for a major part of their politics, they have been in opposition. But let's not forget that it was a party which was only founded in 1980, and look what their journey has been.
Right. Maria, I also want to talk about just LK Advani's own political career and how long it has been, because it started pretty early for him. It started pre-partition, and he was just 14 years old when he joined the RSS.
Yes. So LK Advani has had a long political career.